So they said they've already organized themselves. But these talks just came in, and the next thing they said was, you know what, this election will not hold. And then they started destroying some of the things and getting very aggressive. They slapped a guy showed me his neck. You know, the hand that slapped him, well, that must have been like three people's hands.
What's that show on that film that used to be Scissor Hands?
like
wow.
Like the guy is light skinned, so you can literally see the finger on his neck. It was so bad. He said he was slapped. Another girl told me that her phone was stolen. So they were literally helpless. And the problem into the estate is like it's like a closed estate behind the palace. It's like there's a gate there. Usually it's open, but I don't know what happened, and it was locked and padlocked for that matter.
So nobody could escape.
So nobody could escape. Nobody could get in. Nobody could drive in. They had to drive their car.
You couldn't get out. You couldn't get
so
in.
They had to trek in. But the challenge was that once the INEC personnel got in with their vehicles, they shut the gates. So it was difficult to access the place. When I got there at first, they told us that we have to come down and trek down. We have to come down and trek, into the polling stations. I was not comfortable with it because one thing about me is that I understand how conflict-sensitive reporting works.
Of course.
And I always tell my drivers to be alert. Or don't turn your engine off. That's what I always tell them. So I told the driver to just park well and let me see what. So I observed, and it wasn't very safe because of the reports that people were giving. So I drove out, and the next minute, thankfully to God, all the calls we've made, they arrived at that very same time. So I just spoke to them. They were like, good. The next thing, they were like, open these gates. If you don't open it, we're breaking it down.
Wow.
So the next thing, they had to call someone from inside to come open the gate. Immediately the gate was open. Oh, the driving was James Bond like. Really, James Bond like. So
literally they just
like, yes. So they came in with an ambulance. So
they even came with an ambulance.
They came with a military ambulance. So it's like, anything that happens to you,
we'll put you here.
We'll put you here. Take it.
Oh, is that what it means?
I don't know, but
I don't have the nearest.
Guess who wasn't in Nigeria during the military era? I had no idea what that means.
So,
I see.
We literally drove in like
but
5 trucks.
If you mess with us,
if you mess with us,
we got your coffin ready.
We drove all in at the same time. People began cheering. People were on their way out of the estate before we arrived.
Were you able to video people cheering?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Brilliant.
Yes, I do.
Brilliant.
I do have the footage.
Wow.
Of people cheering while we moved in. They were so happy hearing us. They were shouting, screaming. They said they've listened to They've listened to Nigeria Info. They've listened to Wazobia FM, and they've heard us call out emergency numbers, and they've been calling those numbers non-stop so people can come to their aid, and they didn't want to leave, regardless of the intimidation. That's one thing I really love about these people. The group set of people. I've covered the elections in other places before, but this year it's different.
Nobody's having it.
So no matter what you're doing, like the girl and the guy that was slapped and they were intimidated, usually they'll just go home.
But they stayed.
And they said they're casting their votes.
Wow.